Welcome to Pettis Remodeling. Have you ever found yourself in the need of breaking down large wooden panels such as plywoods, but you don't own a table saw? Or how about making long straight cuts? Again, no table saw. All you have is this circular saw, but let's face it, it's handheld, operated, and we don't trust ourselves making those cuts. Well, today we're going to solve that issue by making our own straight edge, also known as a track saw. Okay? Please stay tuned to the very end of the video for a very exciting announcement coming to Pettis Remodeling that our viewers and people in the area are going to enjoy. Okay, let's get started. Before we get started with this project, a few things you will need. Obviously, your circular saw. It doesn't matter if it's a battery operated or if it's corded. All we need is that it works and that you have a good blade on it. You will also need either a speed square or a combination square, and of course your writing utensil. For this particular jig, I'm using a 1/2-inch BC plywood. I have a piece left over from a project later on, almost 4 feet, not quite, but I'm using the factory edge on this side that I haven't used because I can trust that from factory all the edges are straight. Now plywood may not be at a 90 on your edges, on your corners, may not be a 90-degree corner, but you can always trust that your factory edge is always straight. Knowing that, I used my speed square on the 3.5 setting, and I just scribed my line through. And now I'm going to cut that 3.5 piece that's going to be used as the fence for my saw when I'm using all my cuts. Now this cut that I'm about to make does not have to be straight, because the one that's going to be used for the edge on which the fence is going to slide on is going to be that straight edge here. Let's go ahead. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Or the second measurement that we need comes from our saw. We're going to get it from our saw. And that is the distance from the blade to the end of this plate right here, the bottom plate for the saw. The way the jig is going to work is the saw will slide on top of the plywood here, and the plate, this plate right here, is going to travel along this straight edge and just sliding. So long as this edge is straight, the saw is going to be straight. If this edge is not straight, your cut will not be straight either. Again, this is straight. The base slides on this jig and keeps your blade perpendicular to that edge, which means it's going to be a straight cut. So what we're going to do now is take this measurement and add 1/2 inch and then translate that to our board here. My measure is about 5 1/8, but I'm going to give it 5 1/2. Just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to mark my edges again. This is going to be 5 1/2 here. I will mark 5 1/2 on this side as well. And just to make sure that I'm going to have enough meat to cut off, I'm going to eyeball it. Just like that. 5 1/2. Yep, and I'm going to be about almost 1/2 inch inside. That's all right. So what I'm going to do now again is just a rough mark for that 5 1/2 through. Now if it's not straight, it doesn't matter. I've dusted most of the debris off. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue our two surfaces together. Again, making sure that the straight edge is the one reflected on this side, and our ugly cut is going to go on that side. Since I'm going to put both my good faces together, I'm going to go ahead and prep for glue. So this is the way it will go. This is my factory edge right here. This is my cut. So I'm going to get ready to glue them, and I'm going to hold it together with wood glue and 3/4 inch nails. 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch is 1 inch. If I use 1 inch brad nails, it may come out through the other side. I don't want that, so I'm going to stick with 3/4. I'm going to flip my board. I'm going to line up my edge here on the mark that I've made. I'm going to shoot one brad to hold it in place. Come over here, find my other mark. Shoot another brad. And just finish the rest. Now that my edge is fastened to my board, I'm going to go ahead and cut the excess off. Again, using the same saw. Again, be sure to keep the base here against the straight edge, factory edge. And there we are, a pretty straight edge. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this excess here. Now, before I do cut off the rest, I need to account for clamping. So how am I going to be able to use this in any work situation? Well, this is long enough and wide enough that I can just maybe keep it pressed down with one hand while I use the saw for the rest. But I don't want to risk it too much. So what I'm going to do is I want to be able to make sure that I'm able to clamp it to other surfaces. So one of the reasons why I did a 3.5 inch gap is because it gives me play after the fact, after the motor. So even if I put a clamp really close to this edge here, it does not come in contact with the motor and nothing is in the way while I am making my cut. That being said, I still do want to be able to use this for better clamping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off on the other side using this cut. Again, it doesn't matter how straight it is because, of course, the straight edge is on this side. This is just going to be to give me clamping. Behold my new straight edge / track saw. And the way it works is this. It's like this. So this is As we know, the cut that I just made on this side of my plywood is not straight at all, but I'm about to fix that with my straight edge, the one that I've just made. Okay, I'm not gonna go too deep inside, too far inside, just maybe about 3/16. And I'm going to clamp it here. This end, I'm going to do the same. And clamping. Now the reason why I went ahead and I did this 1.5 inches on this side of the fence is because, again, to help me with better clamping, so that when I'm cutting, I can focus, I can keep both of my hands on the saw, my eyes can be on the project that I'm working on, and that creates, that right there keeps distractions away, and this makes it a safer, this just makes it a lot safer while I'm using the hand saw. And now I've got a really straight edge down my plywood. Now to make this a lot easier and improve the functionality of it not moving on me, I'm going to glue some sandpaper to the back. Once our sandpaper has dried on the bottom of this, we flip it over and we can see that the sandpaper creates so much friction that you can almost move the board just by moving your sled. This guide is perfect for ripping long cuts. If you feel it's too big for you and you want to make a smaller one, you feel free to follow the steps in this video. Or consider this one, just cutting this one down. I suggest a 5 and a 3. If you need to rip 8-foot lengths or maybe even longer, you can just move your 5 foot further down as you're traveling up on your cut. You're also welcome to finish it by applying wax on the surface here on where the saw base glides on, just so that it can maybe glide a little smoother. Personally, I'm going to leave mine as is because it's designed for rough work, and I am going to be using it on a daily. I invite you to make your own, as it is going to be useful, especially specifically in our next video, in which, like, again, we're building that one bench out of one sheet of plywood. It is going to require a lot of straight cuts, ripping, and this is definitely going to be our best friend then. So if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss that build. What am I forgetting? Also, feel free to like the video and comment down below on how I can improve not only the sled, but also on the channel. Thank you. Take care. God bless. Oh, I almost forgot that special announcement that I have for you guys. Have you ever watched a YouTube video and thought to yourself, yeah, I can probably do that myself? Or how about thinking about, carpentry, but you don't have the tools? Or simply, it's a Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, you have nothing to do, no plans? Well, consider this, the Perez Remodeling DIY workshops. What is that, or what are they? Let me tell you. The second Saturday of every month, I will be opening up my shops to the public so that you guys can come in and join me, and I will guide you step by step on building a particular wooden project. And at the end of the workshop, you get to take your piece home to show it off to your friends and your family. The tools are here, materials are covered with the price of admissions, snacks and drinks will be provided. All you need to do is bring your enthused self. Spots are limited and bound to fill up quick, so be sure to sign up as soon as possible. Our first workshop kicks off this March, second Saturday of March, and we're building planters right in time for spring. And this may also be a great date night. Take care. God bless you.